Well, as we've been talking about, Chinese smartphone maker Xiaomi has reportedly raised $1 billion from investors, putting its valuation above Uber, Twitter, and Netflix. And as we mentioned, the company is rapidly expanding into emerging markets despite some legal troubles. CCTV's Callebs spoke with tech industry expert Ari Zoldan, asking him how the company's legal troubles are impacting its expansion.
There's 50 million users right now using the devices, using the software. They've got 14% of the Chinese market. So despite the massive legal battle that they have, a lot of companies are saying, a lot of analysts are saying right now that they're still going to make it.
One thing I did read about their CEO, billionaire Liu Jun, he is a guy that is simply a workaholic, puts in 100 hours a week. He was the guy that steered this. But they do have these legal issues. Right now, they're being sued by Ericsson in India, and others could join in that legal action. Talk about the patent issue that's going on.
They have a bunch of patents filed, only really just a handful approved. And like you said, Sean, they've got everybody from Ericsson, the Indian government, Sony, everybody is on top of them right now. So again, they're going to have a very, very serious uphill battle. And the question is whether or not they're going to be able to overcome this legal battle. And I think that the jury's really still out about that.
And when we talk about those patents, to give people an idea internationally, Apple has more than 11,700 patents on inventions. Samsung has hundreds, and apparently Xiaomi only has a handful, 13. How can that happen? How can a company become so powerful yet not have a patent on invention, a patent that keeps their product out there and legal, for lack of a better term?
You come out with a device, and a device that's really good and a platform that's robust, and the price points are good, and you hit up a demographic like China, where you have over 1 billion people there, you have a massive, massive demographic, so the legal aspects almost, go to the side, and maybe it's a thorn in their side, but quite frankly, they're focused on such an enormous demographic, and they're able to go to market so quickly with these devices.
They did get a reprieve. They're able to keep operating in India at least until mid-February, so 45 or so days, because Qualcomm is going to allow them to use their chip. But this is far from over. There's a lot going on. Qualcomm has a lot at stake because they're also running into some issues overseas as well.
The CEO is doing a phenomenal job. They're calling him the Steve Jobs of China, which is a huge, huge compliment. But again, they're dealing with these legal issues, and those legal issues, as you said, Sean, they are not going away, and they're not going to go away anytime soon.
Let's talk about the CEO, what he means to that company. As I mentioned, he has a reputation of simply being a workaholic. A father has 2 kids, but he's still able to put in 100 hours a week. He's been able to give a low-cost phone with high performance. How has he been able to do all that in such a short amount of time?
He's got, obviously he's the face of the company, he's a driving force. The product is great, the price point is phenomenal, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the talent, and he surrounded himself with some really, really incredible people that's driving this company forward.
And Ari, he's also broken the mold in the sense that they're doing a lot of online sales rather than the way mobile phones are typically marketed. How has that helped his company in that short span?
He's making the process and streaming it online a lot quicker and a lot more efficient, so people could tap into the web portal and order their product really, really quickly.
Let's talk about the sustainability factor. How can they keep this up if they are able to, because they spent billions of dollars last year, but the profit margin razor thin. What is it going to take for this company to really get its roots down and be able to be simply a giant for years to come?
Sure, and I think they're going to be here for a long time, especially if they can figure out how to penetrate the U.S. market. But, Sean, even taking that aside and just focusing on just the Chinese market alone, with 14% market share, is just absolutely extraordinary. And you're right, they've only got less than 1% profit margin, but they're focusing on the numbers, and the numbers really speak for themselves. So even at a 0.5% and a 50% of the Chinese market, that's enough to make up for the thin margins.